Good evening, 6 o'clock here at WDBO. Our top story. Well, first, the WDBO payroll payout is back. You should know that. Download our app now in case you haven't, so you don't miss your chance to win $1,000. Your next chance is coming up tomorrow at 8 a.m. You could get paid just for listening to WDBO. Our top story, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas and Secretary of State Antony Blinken spoke today about updating regional migration management efforts by the U.S. government. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre details the Biden administration's plan to tackle immigration.
We are going to put forth an immigration process that is humane, that is orderly. That is the goal that we have set forward. That is how we want to move forward in that process and do it very differently than it was done in the last administration.
This comes 2 weeks ahead of the end of Title 42, a pandemic-era policy allowing for the rapid expulsion of migrants to their country of origin if they posed a health risk. Republicans have been critical of Secretary Mayorkas for his handling of the southern border amid a rise of deaths that have occurred in relation to drug smuggling over the border. The state house unanimously passing a tax relief package.
The package lays out a number of tax breaks for Floridians, including sales tax holidays. Representative Stan McClain says one of them is an expansion of Freedom Week to Freedom Summer,
which will be a sales tax holiday on the same items and activities as Freedom Week last year, with some additions, and will run from Memorial Day to Labor Day.
It also includes 2 sales tax holidays on school supplies, one over the summer and another coming in January. Sophie Diaz, WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580.
Legendary talk show host Jerry Springer dead at the age of 79. In the 1980s, Springer ran for governor of Ohio.
Ohio is in a world of hurt. The next governor is going to have to take some heavy risks and face some hard truths. I'm prepared to do that. This commercial should be proof.
Springer's family said he died peacefully at his home in suburban Chicago today. He also served as the 56th mayor of Cincinnati in 1977. The Jerry Springer Show aired in syndication for 27 seasons from 1991 until 2018. TMZ reports Springer was diagnosed with cancer a few months ago. Orlando and Orange County, Osceola County are under thunderstorm watches right now. That's going to go until 10 p.m. We're going to keep you updated with any of the latest weather news. Your next chance to win the WDBO payroll payout of $1,000 is happening tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Just listen for the payroll payout keyword and you could get paid just for listening to WDBO. 6:03 here at WDBO.
Keeping an eye on for, again, some golf ball, quarter-size hail, wind gusts over 60 miles per hour, primarily on the east side of I-4 once we get past 7, 8 o'clock tonight and moving offshore. Then we have a squall line of storms out in the Gulf of Mexico. I think the worst of it will be just along I-10, but that line of storms will be approaching after 9 or 10 p.m. and another line of showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm that could be severe as we head toward midnight, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. Then we get a little break, and then another ripple of energy comes in Friday morning and early afternoon, depending on what kind of storms we get today. That will impact some of the conditions for tomorrow. But either way, 60% storm chance on Friday. Saturday, also evening heavy to severe storms, and Sunday looks like severe weather. From Channel 9, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom Terry.
Now, WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Triple Team Traffic.
Heavy delays right now through Osceola, Orange, and Seminole counties. Too many to mention individually, but we'll start with a crash here. I-4 eastbound at Michigan. 3 right lanes blocked as you're heading into downtown. Also a crash I-4 eastbound at the Turnpike. All lanes are back open. All the cars are on the left shoulder, but traffic is bumper to bumper through there. And the big one is a crash on the Turnpike southbound at the 417. A big rig on the right shoulder there. A car as well. It's flipped over with its wheels up on the grass. Drivers slowing down, whipping out the cell phones to take a picture. Please don't do that. Traffic already jammed up starting at the 528. ProTech Air Conditioning and Plumbing Service for honesty, integrity, and 100% customer satisfaction. Call ProTech 407-291-1644 or visit protechac.com. From the WDBO Triple Team Traffic Center, I'm Paul Cross.
WDBO.
With the resources of Severe Weather Center 9 and the National Weather Service. Storm Center coverage has been activated. Orlando's severe weather coverage starts now.
I'm Joe Kelley in the WDBO 24-hour Storm Center, and as fate would have it, right as our show gets started tonight, we have an activation of our Storm Center. The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for west central Brevard County, southeastern Orange County, and northeastern Osceola County. This is almost the exact same spot in which we had severe weather yesterday at about this same time. This is far, far east Orange County and far, far east Osceola County. At 6:04 p.m., just a couple of minutes ago, a severe thunderstorm was located 7 miles southwest of Lone Cabbage Fish. To impact vehicles, rooftops, sidings, and trees. Locations impacted include Rockledge, Cocoa, Lone Cabbage Fish Camp, Merritt Island, and Sharps. Again, the National Weather Service, this is until 6:45 tonight. The National Weather Service issues a severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Orange and northeastern Osceola County until 6:45. I will tell you that affects very, very little of our listening audience, as that is in a largely unpopulated area. For those 2 or 3 people that live out there, please forgive me for saying that. But there are not a whole lot of metropolitan areas in this storm center area right now, and it is moving to the east, so it is moving further away from the Orlando area. And we're going to really keep a close eye on the Orlando area more specifically, especially as this one is going to be out over the ocean in the next 20 minutes or so, and it's not going to be affecting any of us. In the meantime, welcome. We're glad to have you here tonight. Let's check that triple team traffic now, as Paul Cross has had a number of problems tonight. Not that you're having problems, Paul. You're doing just fine, but the traffic is having problems. Can you hear me now? Laurel, can you hear me? Can y'all on the stream hear me? We have a different board operator tonight. We have a different person on the control board. Laurel, can you hear me on the stream? You can hear me. You can hear me now. Okay, you're clearly not hearing me on the stream.
Basketball, baseball, hockey,
Well,
cage
so
fighting, and
because
boxing.
I'm the one that's
BetOnline.net,
feeding
where
this,
the game
I like, have
starts.
to have
I'm
mine
Paul Cross with
muted.
every 6 minutes in the morning. We have traffic reports for you on WDBO.
We know how hard
Thank you,
you
Paul.
work, and you
Paul,
deserve
how are
a
you?
little extra
I
cash.
appreciate you.
Download the WDBO app now so you're ready to get on the payroll payout weekdays at 8, 10, noon, 2, and 5.
Now let's get down to the issues here tonight. Issue number one for tonight. Donald Trump says he may not attend a GOP presidential debate because the venue board chair publishes the Washington Post and because he is so far ahead in the polls right now that he doesn't think that he needs to be in the GOP debate. I mean, wouldn't you like to see Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis standing side by side, making an argument over which one is better? I know that today's political debates are an absolute poop show. I get that. I agree with you. I don't know how much substance there is in the debates. There are so many rules in these debates, and sometimes people way overanalyze the debates. Really, I think the American people are just looking for somebody who seems nice and seems to have a good grasp on reality. But Donald Trump says he may not join these debates. What do you think? Should he debate in the GOP primary? 844-580-WDBO. It's 844-580-9326. You can use the open mic in the WDBO app. What do you think?
I think Trump should participate in the 2024 debate.
Well, all right. We got one person for him in the debate.
This is Stan from Deltona. We know Biden won't debate because he's hiding cognitive decline and the fact that he's bought and paid for by China, Russia, and probably more. If Trump won't debate, what's he hiding?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe Trump doesn't want to debate. It's something that I don't like about the debates is when they ask political candidates different questions, when they have a specific question for Trump and a specific question for Joe Biden. Specific questions that are directed really to an individual should be done in interviews, one-on-one interviews. I think the candidates should have to answer the same question as long as they're on a debate stage. What do you think?
Hey, Joe, this is Kevin from Kissimmee.
Kevin!
If Trump does debate him, he would probably kill him because he's just so smart thinking on his feet. So, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Have a good evening.
I appreciate that. Leaving an open mic. I don't know. Yeah, look, I think that Joe Biden's cognitive decline, that guy is a skin suit of goo. I mean, that's all he is. He's just got goo on the inside. And Donald Trump, I know sometimes when he blurts things out, it doesn't make sense. I know sometimes when he blurts things out, it is somewhat egotistical and self-centered. But Donald Trump does not appear to be showing any signs of mental decline. That guy truly never sleeps, whereas Joe Biden sleeps till 9 a.m. every day. I think that seeing Joe Biden on the same stage as Donald Trump would be pure gold. Not only should that happen, I think you could make it a pay-per-view and people would pay big money to be able to see Donald Trump completely dismantle the skin sack full of goo on a national stage. What do you think? 844-580-WDBO. It's 844-580-9326. You can use the open mic in the WDBO app. We'll get more of your calls and comments. Open mics coming up straight ahead here on WDBO. Stay right there. I'm glad to hear that. I'm doing great, Paul. Thank you. I'm going to shut off my mic for a second because I need to listen to open mics. I'm sorry, everybody. Laurel, it's all yours.
Hi, friends. How we doing? I can't believe we're getting hail for a third day in a row. I'm so sick of the hail. I only got it the first day, but I'm still sick of the thunderstorms. Arushi really wants to be on the camera, so I guess she came in to see it. Hi, Karen. So Arushi is a board op we recently hired. She's still learning, but she's doing great. Thank you all for the feedback. Thank you, Chris. So we have a board op. We're still learning how to do all this. So typically, the board operator feeds you the radio station through this, but because Arushi's still learning, she doesn't know how to do all that yet. So when he's out and Arushi's in, it's on me. So that's why sometimes you and if you listen to the beginning of the video, you heard double back because I'm still learning. Okay, if the feed goes through my board, I have to mute my mic on this thing, and it's different when the board operator is in charge of it. So we're still learning. We're still learning. I'm getting it though. So yeah, we hope to get a camera for the board operators soon, Chris. Even Paul, maybe. I know some people want to see Paul Cross. He's not in studio though. He works from an outside studio. So, but why not? Put cameras on everybody, right? No hail in Kissimmee yet? Good, Karen. I'm glad. I'm so over it. I was letting my dog out this morning, and there are hail holes, like somebody chucked rocks through my neighbor's deck chairs. So they're like the plastic Adirondack deck chairs. I'll have to take a picture and post it. There are somebody, I don't know, took a shotgun and blew holes through the chair. And I saw some of my neighbors' fences look like that, but I'm like, through the chair? That's craziness. Should move my mic this way, maybe. Yeah. So, bananas. I was really hoping, I only bought this house a few years ago, and I was really hoping, despite seeing the evidence, that the damage wouldn't be bad, but my neighbors are already like, our roof is destroyed. So I have a roofer coming out tomorrow. I'm not thrilled to hear what they're going to have to say.
around the 528. Lots of brake lights through downtown now on I-4 in both directions. And as you get south of the 528 on I-4, heading into Champions Gate and past the Disney exits, very, very busy as well. BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get all the latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs, baseball, hockey, cage fighting, and boxing. BetOnline.net, where the game starts. From the WDBO Triple Team Traffic Center, I'm Paul Cross.
WDBO.
With the resources of Severe Weather Center 9 and the National Weather Service. Storm Center coverage has been activated. Orlando's severe weather coverage starts now.
If you're new to Orlando, maybe you're new to WDBO, so as tens of thousands of you are, you may not know what those tones are. You hear those tones there in the background here on WDBO, and you're like, dude, what is that? Is that my phone? No, it's not your phone. It's us. We're making that sound. And anytime you hear that sound in the background, that should immediately trigger in your mind the thought that there is severe weather in the area, in our listening area. And that's exactly what we're dealing with once again tonight for the fourth straight night in a row. We're dealing with severe weather. We've got the National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Orange County and northeastern Osceola County until 6:45, about 40 minutes or so from right now. I take that back. It would be about 20 minutes or so from right now. Again, this is going to be way, way, way out in East Orange and East Osceola counties, and it is moving towards the Atlantic Ocean. It's going to be out over the ocean, and this is going to be the problem for fish and mariners, seamen. That's going to be their problem in the coming moments. It's not going to be our problem anymore. Right now, the rain in Orlando has almost dissipated. It's lightening up quite a bit, but we're still keeping an eye on these storms, and it could go well into the evening. Have we seen, Laurel, whether or not SpaceX, and I haven't had a chance to look yet, but has SpaceX scrubbed the launch yet for tonight? And I shouldn't say yet. Wait, hang on. Yes, I see it right now. SpaceX is targeting the end of the window for tonight's launch. So the beginning of the window was 7:29 p.m. The end of the window is 8:26 p.m. So now they're still targeting tonight, but they pushed it back nearly an hour to 8:26 p.m. for the SpaceX launch later tonight. All right. In the meantime, we are talking about whether or not Donald Trump should join the GOP presidential debates. Donald Trump is saying for two reasons he doesn't want to be in the GOP debate, one of which is because the venue's board chair publishes the Washington Post. Though he did take part in the same debate back in 2015. So he seemed to overcome the difficulty back then. But of course, that was before he was president of the United States and didn't perhaps have the power that he has now. But he also says that he doesn't want to debate because no one is anywhere near him in the current polling.
Trump attacking opponents this early, I guess, who so be it. There's no rules anymore, right? I mean, I wish to God that they would, instead of attack ads, they would use hey, I'm going to do this ads. You know what it's just, why can't we, the people, get through to the politician?
Man, I get that. And honestly, there was a time in my life where I thought, I need to hear negative campaigns. I need to hear all the reasons not to vote for somebody. But our entire nation has become so negative. There's so many terrible things happening to America right now, in America right now. Just the last thing I want to see at this moment in my life is more negativity, more negativity, more negativity. I want to see Donald Trump come out and tell us all the reasons why he should be president. I want to see Ron DeSantis eventually come out and tell us all the reasons why he should be president. I want to see, frankly, Joe Biden. I mean, Joe Biden's 3.5-minute, campaign video in which he launched his campaign was all about attacking MAGA and Donald Trump. I don't want to hear that out of Joe Biden. I want to hear Joe Biden run on his record. Whatever that record is, I want to see Joe Biden run on his strengths, not on somebody else's weaknesses. 844-580-WDBO. It's 844-580-9326. You can use the open mic in the WDBO app. Robert is on the air with us from Winter Springs. Hey, Robert, you're on WDBO. Thanks for calling. I tend to agree with you. Obviously, I mean, you can tell who people are scared of by the ads they put out and by who they target in their ads. Joe Biden is deathly afraid of Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is deathly afraid of Ron DeSantis. And that's why they're running the ads that they're running. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate you listening. Thank you for your phone call. You can join us right now. We got a line open for you at 844-580-WDBO.
Yes, he needs to debate, but please tell him to not run. We don't need him to run for 4 years. We need someone that can be there for 8 years.
Yeah. See, I agree with you on that one. And that's why if on a primary ballot, if I see the names Trump and DeSantis on a primary ballot, I will vote for DeSantis. On a general election ballot, I'm not voting for Biden. Is there another choice? If it's Trump and Biden, if those are the two names on a general election ballot, I'll be checking the box next to Donald Trump. And that's just me being honest. That's me letting you know my biases. That's who I am. That's where I'm from.
Yes, he needs to go to the debates. Just because you're up in the polls, Hillary Clinton was beating you in the polls. Don't you remember? So polls don't mean anything. Go to the debates, debate. But remind all Floridians, please turn on your headlights. Automatic headlights, do not turn on your taillights. Please turn on your headlights. And Trump, get your butt to the debates.
Hang on. Let's talk about the headlights issue. It is state law. You have to turn on your headlights when it's raining. Plus, it's kind of getting dark outside. But for a lot of people, it's raining right now. So you do need to turn on your headlights. And I got to tell you, I don't know that I knew that about automatic headlights not turning on your taillights at the same time. I thought your taillights came on. At least I've never given it any thought, if I'm being honest with you, until just now. And I guess I would have assumed that your taillights come on at the same time. So you're telling me that I have to switch it from automatic to on just so that my taillights come on? I will say that my wife and I were driving back from Bradenton last weekend during some very heavy storms. We were driving back on Highway 50, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, Colonial goes all the way from one side of the state to the other side of the state. But there was a car driving and it was dusk and it was raining and he didn't have either his headlights or his taillights on, damn near crashed into him. And it really frustrated me to see him not have his headlights or anything on at all. My name is Joe Kelley. You can join us at 844-580-WDBO. You can check out the video behind the scenes on the WDBO Facebook page. That's happening right now. We'll continue with more of your calls and comments coming up next here on WDBO.
WDBO.
Good evening. It is 6:30 here at WDBO. We are under WDBO Storm Center. Right now, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for Orange County until 6:45 p.m. The watch goes in for Osceola County and Seminole County goes until 10 p.m. tonight. Do be sure that you bring in any debris that may fly around. Otherwise, we're going to keep you updated here on WDBO. The WDBO payroll payout is back. Download our app now so you don't miss your first chance, or your next chance, I should say, to win $1,000. That next chance is coming up tomorrow at 8 a.m. You could get paid just for listening to WDBO. Our top story, the Biden administration says it's taking a different approach to immigration than the Trump White House. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on what they plan to implement.
An immigration process that is the goal that we have set forward. That is how we want to move forward in that process.
reaction about the security risk was triggered by the Chinese surveillance balloon shot down by a U.S. missile off the coast of Myrtle Beach. And the North Carolina House unanimously approved a bill to prevent China and any hostile foreign countries from buying farmland or any land within 25 miles of a military base. 11 states have been working on banning Chinese farm ownership. It's passed in Montana and North Dakota. The issue also puts hog farms in focus, like the world's largest pork producer, Smithfield Farms, now owned by a Hong Kong company in 29 states with thousands of local farmers. But Smithfield says China exerts no control over American pork production. Therese Crowley, Fox News.
Remember to have that WDBO app downloaded now so you won't miss your next chance to win $1,000 with the WDBO payroll payout. Your next chance coming up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. at 6:32 here at WDBO.
I'm Joe Kelley in the WDBO Storm Center, and this is a rarity for us. The National Weather Service in Melbourne issues a tornado warning for southeastern Seminole County and south central Volusia County. I'm going to go live now to Channel 9 Eyewitness News meteorologist Tom Terry.
We can show you the velocity from our live Doppler radar, and you can see it right probably over here on the east side of Chuliota. So the winds are coming through. They kind of swirl around just a little bit. This is from is that TDWR?
That's MCO.
MCO. Okay. So the terminal Doppler radar weather in right there. So just on the south side of Geneva, just right in this corridor. So on the southeast side of Geneva, northeast side now of Chuliota. Go ahead and make sure you are hunkered down indoors. Here's State Road 46. And you can see the lightning with this. Normally we have the heavy lightning, some small hail, and then on the south side we have a little bit of rotation. That's showing at 53 lightning strikes, in fact. So that storm is moving east now, northeast, east-northeast at 30 miles per hour. So that's going to put it over by I-95. It's in pretty rural areas now, but moving over State Road 46 near I-95 coming up here in the next 15 to 20 minutes. So we're over here by the Scottsmore area, south of New Smyrna. We're staying in northern parts of Brevard County, extreme southern Volusia County. Let's check on this other storm over here. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning out for the Titusville area. And now we have this second storm that has acquired rotation just on the west side of I-95, which is right in through here. This is where we've also seen some rotation show up south of coming up here in the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. So we're over here by the Scottsmore area, south of New Smyrna. So we're staying in northern parts of Brevard County, extreme southern Volusia County. Let's check on this other storm over here. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning out for the Titusville area on this. So if you're over in the Rockledge area, Angel City, Cape Canaveral, you have some time right now to make sure you're inside, away from windows, get under some sturdy furniture, perhaps if you live in a mobile or manufactured home. But we can zoom in just a little bit more because that is pretty well defined now just west of 95. So this is where the red and green are starting to touch each other right there. The brighter the colors here, the bright green, the bright red, that means we have stronger inbound and outbound. So also that little spike right there probably indicates we have a little bit of hail we're dealing with as well. This is going to be right along. Here is 520, 524. This is 95, and there's Highway 1 right over by Rockledge. So that tornado warning in effect until 7 o'clock. That's going to be moving through northern parts of Brevard County. So,
and Tom, I just want to say I'm watching the National Weather Service chat as we're doing this live coverage, and we have had a train spotter confirm a funnel cloud over near Chuliota, which was that first storm that we are tracking, the one that you have behind you. So again, some significant rotation still with this storm.
Yeah, so we have really two areas or three. I noticed too, Cassie, the cell that's over by Merritt Island has really sparked up. I'll keep right there. Yeah. So that is probably also producing a water
waterspout or a potential tornado just on the west side of Merritt Island. But this is the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex area, and generally not anybody living over here necessarily, but that's going to be northeast of the Causeway and northeast of Port St. John. So quick reset for you right now. We have a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock tonight. We've been watching this weather roll through Metro Orlando with relatively little fanfare. We've had some severe thunderstorms up here to the north, and now because we're starting to get a collision of the winds, we're getting a little bit of rotation showing up out of this. Meteorologist Cassandra Crimmy joining me behind the scenes. She's driving this show, and we can see they have 2 areas of severe thunderstorms and tornado warnings attached to them. We have had a confirmed spot of funnel cloud, precursor, if you will, of a tornado over by the Chuliota area. That continues to move toward the coast. We'll see if it tightens up its circulation anymore. Let's go back down here to the south as well. Just got a hail report coming out of that storm near I-95, but this is going to be a cell to keep an eye on as it approaches Rockledge and I-95 all the way over here toward Merritt Island. So that storm near the coast, and we just got a 1-inch hail report that's coming in from in Cocoa near Adamson Road. So that was that storm as it moved right past Cocoa, now on top of Rockledge. Yesterday we had over 2.25-inch hail, so this is an improvement, but we kind of traded out now with this rotation that we're showing. In fact, we'll zoom in and put the velocity on here and see what kind of rotation we can see currently, because these things will cycle, get a little tighter, get a little less tight. You can see it right over in here. So this is going to be our potential for a funnel cloud or a tornado coming through Pluck Bomb Road. Here is the Rockledge area, I-95, and the beach line. So over here is Highway 1. So again, if you're in the Rockledge area, just on the east side of Cocoa now, go ahead and take your tornado precautions. And we've had lots of issues with strong gusty winds. Boy, right in there, you can still see it, Cassie. It's just going to be right along. Go and zoom in just a little bit more for me. Let's get in as well as we can. So right about in there where we had the red and green next to each other, that's kind of what we're looking at, because these winds are going like this and then kind of swirls like that. So that's counterclockwise, and that's kind of what we're looking at near I-95, and here is 520. So if you're in the Cocoa, the Rockledge area, here's Barton Boulevard, I-95. You could get some additional wind damage coming from this, in addition to any rotation, the strong gusty winds over 50, 60 miles per hour. So Rockledge, it's in about the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. There's wind out ahead of it already. Indianola coming up in 15 minutes, Audubon, and into Cape Canaveral. If you can find some CC for me, we might have that product here. We can be able to see if we can see any debris that may be lofted in the atmosphere from this particular storm. Probably not yet. It's moving over relatively rural areas and doesn't look all that tight, but still right along 520, a tornado warning in eastern parts of central Florida, well east of Orlando. We've kind of quieted things down for now, but the severe weather threat continues to increase here along 95. That's going to pass right over 95, in fact, and head from Rockledge up toward Cocoa and eventually right over the Causeway. So tornado warning here, and then we're going to get into another tornado warning that's up here to the north. This is now right over on the east side of Chuliota. Let's see, probably right over in here. That's probably going to be our area to keep an eye on. So that storm is now eastbound of Chuliota. Any update from the Weather Service chat here, Cassie?
No, we haven't gotten any updates. A couple of storm reports continue to come in. The one that we talked about.
You've been listening to live coverage there on Channel 9 Eyewitness News with Chief Meteorologist Tom Terry and Cassandra Crimmy. As you're listening to this, again, just to kind of reset, we have not one but 2 tornado warnings that are in effect right now. Now, both of them are very near the coast, very near the Atlantic Ocean. And they're going to be in effect until 7 o'clock tonight for another 20 minutes or so. And it is so far a radar indicated tornado. There's rotation on the radar. These are thunderstorms that are capable of producing a tornado near Chuliota, and it's moving east at about 20 miles an hour. If you're in Orlando right now, you're thinking, whoa, what's the big deal? Because we don't have that kind of storm activity here. No, we don't. It's kind of nice. Here in the Orlando area, we just still have some light showers, and Still kind of warm. It's 83 degrees here in Orlando, but the heavy stuff and the big storms are moving towards the east, and they're moving out into the Atlantic, out across Merritt Island, and they're going to be moving out into areas that have zero population, except for maybe a couple of grizzled, salty old mariners that are out in their boats right now in the Atlantic, and that is going to be about it. SpaceX has pushed back their scheduled launch tonight. Their launch was supposed to be at about 7:29. They've now pushed it back to the outer limits of their launch window, which is going to be about 8:30 or so. That'll happen a little bit later tonight. Oh, at least that is scheduled to happen a little bit later tonight. Triple team traffic now as we check the drive there with Paul Cross. Hello, PC. Well, if I'm being really honest with you, which is what I always am with our listeners, if I'm being really honest with you, there were several topics I wanted to cover tonight, but with the storm interrupting us and all, I don't want to get started on a couple of other topics as the show is coming to a close here in very short order. It's a real shame that this is only a 1-hour show. Oh, if only this was a 2-hour show. Well, Joe, I'm so glad you asked about that. Starting Monday, this will be a 2-hour show. That'll be starting Monday from 5 to 7. We're going to rebrand the show and relaunch the show. And you'll be able to watch the show on our Facebook page. You'll be able to listen to the show everywhere that you get WDBO, both on FM and AM and all of your streaming platforms, all of your streaming devices. You'll be able to check out the podcast. The podcast is similarly being rebranded, but coming up next week, beginning next week until, well, in perpetuity. All right, we'll see how it works. And I'll be on from 5 to 7 weekdays, the Joe Kelley Show. That's starting Monday here on WDBO. I'm very excited about that. So in the meantime, as we've started this discussion about whether or not Donald Trump should participate in the upcoming debates, thus far he has said that he doesn't think he needs to because A, he doesn't like the moderator, and B, he's so far ahead in the polling that he doesn't think he needs to do it.
Yes, he needs to debate, but please tell him to not run. We don't need him to run for 4 years. We need someone that can be there for 8 years.
Yeah, so what do you think? You can call 844 580 WDBO. It's 844 580 9326, or use the open mic in the WDBO app.
I don't think Trump should think his pants are so big that he doesn't need, that he's above debating. I think that would come back to haunt him.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, you know, if we need to see somebody's debate abilities, we need to know that someone can handle the pressure of being on a debate stage, because they're going to be on a world stage with global leaders, and we need to know, you know, what they're made of. We need to know whether or not they're going to have the right stuff to be able to do that. It certainly appears that Joe Biden doesn't have the right stuff to be able to do that. He's just a big bag of goo covered in skin at this point. More of your phone calls, open mics coming up straight ahead at 844-580-WDBO. Stay with us. I've got to go back to listening to open mics. Laurel?
You're right about the launch, Karen. I didn't see the last one, the one before that, because it was so cloudy. At least in my area, it was so cloudy I didn't see anything.
In just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online.
Oh yeah, Karen, me too. Just over like the houses. I don't know how to explain it. They're like behind me into the back. If I look over, I can just see the little tiny. And then if I'm here, spam. Somebody sold my phone number at some point in my life, and I'm getting like 6 spam calls a day. They're driving me bananas, and I block every single one, but of course it doesn't work. Anyways, if we're here in the newsroom, I can run into the newsroom, and the newsroom has a clear shot of the rockets, which is pretty cool out of their big old windows. Chris, I don't know. That might be what Joe is listening to now, is all those open mics. I'm not sure. The open mics are funny. We get some really good ones. And then sometimes people just leave like noises. As you can imagine with any public open forum, you get some weird stuff. You're like, what was that? What? Years and years ago, we had somebody who would call in with a real thick, like, Longhorn, Foghorn. Is that how you say his name? That accent? Real thick Southern accent. He would speak banjo, as Joe liked to say. And he would crack us up. But, not all the open mics are PC. They're not all FCC friendly. So we have to make sure we air nice ones. So there's a heads up. If you want to leave an open mic, short and sweet, no cussing. That's a good way to get on the air. Is Joe making faces, Karen? I'm not watching him. Ay. So yeah, the open mics, I think you guys are hearing, but we had one phone call today, and I think so in my headphones, I'm listening to what's on the air. I'm listening to this streaming service, and then I'm trying to get on the Facebook and listen to what's you guys are hearing through the Facebook. So I was trying to hear like 3 different things, and I thought you couldn't hear the caller, but you heard all the open mics. I don't know. We'll figure it out. They keep leaving us is the problem. The bosses, they're like here, and then they let us. They leave, and we have to figure it out on our own. They gave me a plant. You see my plant? They gave me a plant in here now. It's nice. It zhuzhes up my background a little bit. I don't know, Chris. I honestly don't know where some of these open micers come from. Oy. Watching Tom Terry with the tornado warning now in Brevard until 7:15. He hasn't rolled up his sleeves yet. That's the thing, right? The weather's bad when Tom Terry rolls up his sleeves. So not yet. That's good. Thanks, Karen. We try. Sometimes that doesn't equal great product sometimes, but we try. Okay. Yes, Chris, you and Karen are going to be the OGs. You guys get like the here from the beginning badge. When we finally get this all up and running, you guys can be like, yeah, we were there. Tell them they were echoing or we couldn't hear them and stuff. We were there from the beginning. And we better hurry up and figure this out because, like Joe said, on Monday, the show's going to go to 2 hours. So we better not have echoes or bare spots for 2 hours. Oh,
okay.
Joe's
What did I
back.
miss? I'm back. Can you hear me?
Talking about you. Yeah, we can hear you. We're talking about you behind your back.
Oh. Laurel, it looks so pretty in your room right now. Somebody must have thought it needed a bit of a makeover back there.
I was showing them this way. I was showing them all my plants.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
And I've got fancy lighting.
You do. I had one lamp.
Otherwise, no, I've got 2 lamps.
Uh-oh.
See, I'm backlit in
That's
green.
fancy.
You're
Ooh, it's like a
jealous, aren't
rave.
you? Is your ring
I
light
am.
on?
I want multiple
Your face
lights.
looks dark.
It doesn't work.
Really?
We found that ring light like by the traffic area. It doesn't
So
work.
it's
We plugged it in.
C-wrap?
Yes. Oh, I got to do a big 3.
Okay,
Please
don't
hold.
talk, right? Me?
Right. Be good. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Seminole and Volusia County going on until 7 p.m. There's a severe tornado warning for Seminole and Volusia County. Thunderstorm warning for Orange County. That thunderstorm warning for Orange County goes until 6:45. The tornado warning for Seminole and Volusia County goes until 7 p.m. 2. A man accused of leaking classified military documents will remain behind bars for now. During a federal detention hearing today, prosecutors said 21-year-old Massachusetts Air National Guard member Jack Teixeira would flee if released on bond. The judge said he'll make a decision on the matter soon. 1. The talk show host whose segments typically led to brawls is dead. Jerry Springer died peacefully at his home in suburban Chicago at the age of 79, according to his family. Before the TV talk show fame, Springer served as mayor of Cincinnati. Thanks, Karen. And thank you, Chris. I know Joe said I'm dark, but that's okay, honestly, because, I don't want to put on a full face of makeup. I don't want to do it every day. It's the perks of working in radio, not on TV. And if I get a full ring light, that way. If I get a full ring light, y'all see all the pores in my face and such.
I do want to thank everybody who's watching on the stream right now, and especially those of you who are commenting. It's a lot of fun to be able to interact with you guys. One of the things we're trying to find, we realize that for the viewing experience, you guys don't get to see everybody else's comments. Only we get to see that. Did you know that, Laurel? That from the viewer side, everybody doesn't get to see the comments. And we've got to figure out a way to get all the comments visible. And I just don't know how to do that.
That's not like a Facebook setting they can choose?
I was not able to find one.
Okay, I'm going to play. I'm
Yeah,
going to
see if you can figure it out. My name is Joe Kelley. It's at Talk Radio Joe. If you miss anything, you can look for the new podcast. The new podcast, just look for the Joe Kelley Show. We are going to abandon the previous podcast. I won't even name it. The podcast that which not be named. Am I saying that right? How do they say that on Harry Potter? The podcast that shall not be named. So forget about the old podcast. Look for the Joe Kelley Show wherever you get your podcasts, and please follow that along. We're going to have both. This content, we're going to have content from this show, and then we're going to have original content as well. As an example, I recently sat down, had about a 30-minute conversation with the president of Brightline Trains, and really had a fascinating conversation with him, and it's on yesterday's podcast. If you want to check it out, it wasn't on the radio, but it is on the podcast. And if you have any curiosities about the Brightline Trains, you can check it out right now. At the Joe Kelley Show. Just look for that wherever you get your podcasts, or of course at inside the WDBO app. Now, for our last remaining couple of minutes here tonight, we do have some more open mics about whether or not Donald Trump should be debating, and we have a clarification about your headlights and taillights when driving in the rain.
Hey, Joe, just wanted to clarify for you about the headlights, because it's my pet peeve when people don't have them on. When your auto daytime running lights are on, your tail lights are off. But when your car senses the darkness to turn on your auto lights, then both your headlights and tail lights are on.
Oh, that's good to know. You know what's really interesting about this show is I hope our listeners learn things. I hope our listener experience leaves you at times walking away going, I did not know that. because I know that I walk away pretty much every day having learned something new. And you guys always teach me something, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much for offering that advice. One more open mic here.
Hey, this is Kevin from Apopka. I don't think Trump's afraid of DeSantis at all. I think he feels betrayed. I don't know what kind of agreements they may have had, but yeah, I don't think there's any fear at all in the man. He's just angry. And like I said, he feels betrayed. That's where all this hate comes from.
You know, there is an element in which I agree with you. Clearly, Donald Trump feels betrayed. But if it was just betrayed by a candidate who had no hope of inflicting any kind of damage on Donald Trump, I feel like Donald Trump would be ignoring him. But since Ron DeSantis seems to be the anointed one, if not for Donald Trump, then I do believe that there is a fear element there as well. So yes, he feels betrayed, and he also feels fear that the only person who could disrupt him would be Ron DeSantis. My name is Joe Kelley, along with Laura Lee Arushi Gupta on the board with us tonight. We'll be back again for you tomorrow night, Friday night, fun and games. We actually might have a couple of new games even for tomorrow night. Thank you for everybody who's been watching on the stream, joining us in the chat room, and thanks for listening here to WDBO. Fox Across America with Jimmy Fela is coming up next. Hey, okay. Thanks to you guys so much for watching tonight. As you can see from those of you who watch, we do a lot of multitasking during the show. So one thing we have to remember, Laurel and I have to remember, is while we have a growing audience here on the video, our largest audience is on the radio. So we have always got to remember that radio comes first, video comes second. So if it seems like we're ignoring you at times here on the video, it is purely because we're trying to pay attention to the radio show. So please, please, please forgive us. Give us some grace here on the video when it seems like we're not communicating well with you. We love communicating with you. We love the direct interaction that you guys share with us in the comments threads. But we do have to pay attention to our radio show first and foremost. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Laurel, for participating. We're going to get the knack of this, and by Monday night, hopefully everything is going to be rock solid when we add the second hour. And by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'd also like to announce that Laurel right there, that Laurel right there, we got to figure out which way is which, is my official fill-in for when I'm out. So when I'm on PTO, paid time off, or if I get sick, or if I just don't feel like coming in, or maybe I'm way too drunk to be here, then Laurel will fill in for me in my absence. So I'm kind of excited about that too. So congratulations to Laurel.
Thanks, I'll try.
Congratulations to me. Congratulations to everybody. Have a great night. Stay safe in the weather tonight. And that's it. I'm going to turn off the broadcast, and we'll check you guys tomorrow night at about the same time. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.